I have the pleasure, recording in progress. I guess I better start over. Well, welcome everyone to Big Win Wednesday. Today we have, we're going into our second portion of Big Win Wednesday. The first part was our icon, Scott Ziegler from Canada, teaching us about how to leverage social media to sell between 50 to 60 houses a year as a one-man show. He did an awesome job. You can follow our YouTube channel, Big Win Wednesday, for that recording if you're just joining now. And you can also catch the last 3 weeks of Big Win Wednesdays as well on that YouTube channel. Right now, we're getting into eXp Explained. We've got 3 rock stars, Lisa Parenteau from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Barbara Legg from San Diego, California, and the Tony Camilleri from Detroit, Michigan, sharing with you the eXp Realty platform. These folks are rock stars in the industry. I follow them. They know what they're doing, and they're going to share with us why they're so excited about this platform that we all work under. Tony, Lisa, Barbara, the show is yours. I'm going to mute my phone, and I'll be here to support you.
Thank you. I'm looking for Barbara so I can spotlight her because I cannot go on without her being spotlighted. There she is. Well, welcome everybody. So excited. You know, this is something that we absolutely have loved to do. I usually just work solo with my property sister, Barbara Legg, but tonight we are super excited to also welcome Tony. And so first, I will introduce myself, I guess, quickly. Tom already did. My name is Lisa Parenteau. I am an agent here on beautiful Cape Cod in Massachusetts. I have been selling real estate for a pretty long time. I am a serial association volunteer. I volunteer for our local, state, our National Association of Realtors. I also volunteer with the Residential Real Estate Council. I love our profession. I love serving our members, and I love eXp, but my most important and favorite job is Grandma to Eloise Ann, who will be 3 in February. So that is a little bit about me. Barbara, would you introduce yourself and then pass it over to Tony? Oh, you're muted, Barb.
Okay, not anymore. I was just going to say, seriously, I think I need to go first, and then you need to like follow everybody else because you're so amazing. My name is Barbara Legg. I am coming at you from San Diego, California, and I have a small team here in San Diego. I work with my daughter and a few other agents, and been selling real estate since about 2004. I'm also a brand new Glamma, so I get to join those ranks with Lisa. Super excited about that. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it for me. We just kind of do our thing here in San Diego. Never too busy for any of your referrals. If you guys have anybody coming to San Diego, we have a lot of people moving out of California, but you know what? They're still coming this way too. So Tony, tell us about you.
All right. Well, I'm excited to join you ladies this evening. My name is Tony Camilleri. I'm out of the Farmington Hills market, which is the basically Metro Detroit area. And been in real estate for about 22 years, many years as an investor, still an investor, but went into residential sales. And yeah, super excited. Been with eXp now for, geez, I just hit my 6-year anniversary, December 1st. So fired up about that. And yeah, been here at the beginning when it was only 2,000 agents, and really excited. You know, it's awesome. Like Tom Chong, been running with him for 6 years now. Just man, building this amazing opportunity, great brokerage that we're with. So excited to share some information with you guys.
Yeah, hey, that's great. Actually, Barb, say how long you've been with eXp?
Oh, 2018. Yep.
Okay, oh, that's right, 18. And so I was a pandemic baby. I came in February of 2020. So it looks like we got 6, 4, and 2.
Yeah.
And
we
so
have
we're gonna
East Coast, West Coast, and Central United States. So we got it all covered, you guys. We're good.
We do. So we do have a PowerPoint presentation. Most of it is the official eXp PowerPoint, but we've kind of changed a couple things around, and we look forward to sharing. We'd like to get through with a little bit of time over, so that we can actually maybe take some testimonials, and most importantly, answer some of the questions, the burning questions that some new people might have. We love that most of all, is to be able to, first of all, we know you actually were listening to us, which is kind of great, but also there are questions. I mean, these are big things, you know, when you're considering looking at a brokerage, which this is the time of year that many people are doing just that. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen. You guys are going to need to kind of take over the rest of it because I can't see anything. But here we go. So this is the evening now. We call it, Tom's calling this season 2. This is season 2 of Big Win Wednesday. And that was an amazing session. I just caught the end of it. I caught a couple of pieces of it earlier with Scott. We're looking forward to the explainer portion. And then Tom's going to do a little bit of a deep dive. Grab a coffee now so you'll be wide awake for Tom's portion. And that will be on Rev Share and really talk about how to create some amazing residual income for yourself. So here we are. We have a slide. Barbara and I have been doing this for a while. We like to call ourselves the Property Sisters, coast to coast. And there's our contact info. That'll be up at the end as well. Please take a screenshot. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if we can serve you in any way, for sure. So what we're going to cover tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about who we are as eXp, what our business model looks like, and that kind of broken down as the compensation, which is the most important thing and comes first. The fact that we're cloud-based, and then our community, and then talk about some things that others have also shared about eXp as a company. But Barbara, I'm going to pass this over to you right now to talk about Glenn Sanford and the beginnings of our company.
I love starting a presentation this way. And you know, I love talking about Glenn. He is such a great, humble human being, just the nicest person. I did actually have the pleasure of meeting him in person when the leadership team came out here to San Diego. They stayed at the beautiful Hotel del Coronado, and we weren't 86,000 agents at that time. We were a smaller group, and so they actually invited the San Diego agents to come and meet with Glenn and ask him questions and have nice little one-on-one with him. So that's when I really first got to meet him. And I mean, now I can see why so many people are joining this company. He truly is such a nice, sincere gentleman, and very, very smart, very, very smart. So, he's the brainchild, obviously, between about eXp. He founded the company in 2009, and we are never looking back. So this is kind of showing you the timeline, 2009 to 2022. There's, all these little milestones that we've hit. I said I joined in 2018. So you can see 2018, eXp World Holdings joins NASDAQ. So that was kind of a big deal, right? Because now we are agent owned. Tony, I'd like you to kind of jump in on this too, because you have a few more years on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was, it was interesting because when I first was doing these presentations, it was, like I said, December of 2016. And we talked about the stock because it was a penny stock or whatever you want to call it. And up for a long time, people laughed at me and said, oh, no one cares about stock. And so that was a major ordeal. You're absolutely right. When we hit NASDAQ, and Tom can attest to that, it was such a great day. And some of our colleagues and friends, can't remember if Tom was there or not, but I know several of our colleagues got to ring the bell, and huge, big
He was there
to be agent owned, right? Awesome stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And then this is another slide that I know my colleague Barbara Legg loves to talk about. Barbara, tell us about the eXp core values and tell me what your favorite one is. Then we'll ask Tony what his favorite one is.
Yeah, well, every company has core values, but I don't know that everybody knows what their company core values are. So I love that we have this in our presentation, and every single one of these core values are super important. I do have my personal favorite. Lisa knows what it is because I talk about it every single month when we do our presentation, and it's collaboration. I mean, and you can tell between, what Lisa and I do all the time. We're not even in like the same rev share organization, but we collaborate all the time. We're always helping each other, and we would help any agent, who needs help with anything. So collaboration is definitely my number one. I do like all of the core values, but that's my most favorite. So Lisa, what's yours?
So my favorite, actually, I usually talk about it, is the transparency piece of it. I think in real estate, it's such big things, and there's so many. There's a lot of potentially a lot of emotion with both with our transactions as well as kind of the drama that used to be back when we were kind of in the office. And also, one of the biggest things is most other of our fine competitors. Everyone's getting a different deal, and it kind of sets up from day one when you walk in. Well, wait a minute, what's that guy getting? Hey, wait a minute. Well, I've been here for this long. And one of the things I love about our brokerage is that, as you'll see when we talk about it in a bit, everybody gets the same deal everywhere. And so it immediately makes a level playing field for all agents, whether you're a super rock star, a brokerage that came over with 900 agents, or someone who just finished their real estate school 2 weeks ago and just took their exam and they passed. Everybody comes in at the same level. And I just find that amazing. The transparency of that, and getting all that stuff, as it says, out from behind the curtain, I just love. Tony, how about you? What's your favorite core value?
Well, I'll second both of you on those as well. And when I started, again, just to use it as example, there was no, you didn't know what these core values were because there was only 2,000 agents. And but to watch it, I can say that I've seen all of these things develop. My favorite, I guess, is, because a couple of the ones you mentioned are actually some of my favorite as well. But being agile, I think, as a business person, and the way that our world is moving so fast nowadays, I mean, it's changing every year, right? And agile, being able to move on a dime is so important. And Glenn Sanford is able to really do what he needs to do to make the company move on a dime, and he's doing it every year. And I've watched it, witnessed it, and it's amazing. So
yeah, I mean, I'll just, this is important enough to pause here, but a great example was just when we were in Las Vegas at eXpCon, and Success Health was rolled out. Right. So the agility of a company this large, publicly traded, that said, you know what, now you really cannot enjoy your wealth if you don't have your health. And so we're going to roll out an amazing program that really spotlights the importance of the health, mental, physical, as well as spiritual, with the collaboration with Tony Robbins, right? So on every level, that he believed that it was a direction that we needed to go, and products and programs that needed to be unveiled, and have the agility without 5 years of all this stuff, having to get to make a decision to get something done. And it's amazing and really fantastic. So our business model, let's see. Tony, you want to jump in about the business model and innovation?
Yeah, I love this. Again, the world being changing so fast. I love it that we still have Blockbuster up there, because it's so funny. It's like there might be kids that don't even know what Blockbuster is. That are getting into real estate at this point. But think about that. I mean, the world, again, is changing so fast. Brick and mortar, we've seen it and we've witnessed it. COVID actually accelerated it, right? I mean, when we looked at that, because again, when I was doing presentations, I got so much feedback and flack about not having an office. And first of all, I say that we can have an office. It's not against the rules, but our model is built on trimming the fat, getting rid of that. Netflix came in and did it. We all know, I mean, geez, I just ordered some shoes the other day. They were here the next morning, right? Why would I go to the store, drive there, get in traffic, when I can go on my phone or Amazon or whatever, and boom. So guys, why wouldn't it be different for real estate? It's the same thing. So we found a way, Glenn Sanford, I should say, a genius, designed a platform, and this is the way the world is going. And we have been able to do business more efficiently with less money. And we're going to show you where that money goes, which is back to us as agents, which is really exciting. So, you have to, if you want to stay relevant, you got to be agile, as Lisa was talking about. And that's where we're at.
Yep. And so this slide kind of really underlines that as well, because we are agile, and because we are, kind of continuing to stay relevant with our cloud platform. We don't have any of those things that have weighed down. One of the reasons why Glenn kind of founded the company, he kind of looked around in 06, 07, 08 and said, wait a minute, what's missing here is that the people that are making the money are not keeping the money. And it's not because the management's evil. It's because the management has this huge thing that they have to pay for every month. With eXp, they've sort of eliminated all that. And we're not confined to a region, which is also pretty much the story of all of our fine competitors. They really are they have to draw their own boundary lines, because someone has to pay for that franchise. And we don't have that structure. And it allows us to have powerful equity, our cloud campus environment, real-time support, which we'll talk about, training, and international collaboration, which we'll get to. So cloud campus environment. Barb, you want to take the next couple slides?
Yeah. And we kind of just, touched on it just a little bit. So yeah, we have no desk space. Why? Because we're working from our house, right? Or wherever we are, which was the next one. We work from anywhere. It cut the overhead brick and mortar costs. We don't have those fees. This is our whole cloud campus environment, which just makes everything so streamlined and so easy. Paperless transactions. We're going to get into all that in a few more slides. So the agent-centric value proposition, we kind of touched on that a little bit, the compensation, community, and cloud-based. So compensation, again, you'll see everything is even Steven for everybody. In what way or ways does your current broker compensate you? You're going to see in the next few slides that we get compensated in a couple of different ways.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
there's actually up to 6.
right. And we don't even have all those in this presentation. So make sure you talk to the person who invited you to this so that you can get, everything. We're just kind of giving you the Cliff Notes version, if you will. So no desk fees, royalty fees, or franchise fees. A lot of the other major real estate companies have that, and it's always taken off the top, right? So if you have like a franchise fee or a desk fee, that all gets taken off the top, and then it's your split. So the commission and cap here at eXp, it's 80-20 commission split. And like Lisa said earlier, we don't care who you are. You could be selling, 5,000 homes a year, or you just got your license. 80-20 split. We have a $16,000 cap. After capping, you earn 100% commission. And I know that when I came over to eXp, I kept asking, because I was with a small boutique brokerage, and I kept asking my broker, I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Where's the fine print? Where's the fine print? Well, here's the fine print. $250 cap transactions after you put that $100,000 or your 100% commission. So the standard cost, it's $149 just to start up when you're doing your eXp application. It's $149 to start, $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. So we all do pay $85 a month. And we're going to be covering everything that you get for the $85. It's a $25 transaction review fee and a $40 risk management fee. So the risk management fee is your E&O insurance, and you only pay that when you're closing a deal.
Correct, right. So the 65 is only when you're closing, as Barbara said.
Yep.
And then wait till you hear what that $85 a month actually buys you, because it is amazing. People come to this company just for some of that $85 a month, for sure. So revenue share plan, I know this section of the presentation is really near and dear to Tony. So I'm going to throw this over to Tony to do the revenue share plan.
Absolutely. I just want to touch on, it's interesting just about the fees. And I just challenge anyone that is new or looking at this for the first time. I had an agent who was a Coldwell Banker experienced agent, and he didn't think that his fees were so high, but when he actually went back and started reviewing his paperwork, he found out that he was paying a whole lot more than he thought. Because he's like, oh, well, you have all these fees. I said, go take a look at your stuff. And he came to find out he was paying a whole lot more than we have at eXp, because we're right up front with it. And I love our fee structure, but I just had a comment because I thought that was interesting. A lot of people aren't aware of even what they're paying. But yes, the rev share plan is definitely, something I love. I will, do a disclaimer on this, that, this is not a requirement of eXp. You do not have to ever attract an agent, refer an agent, recruit an agent, whatever you want to say, ever at eXp. It's not a requirement. It's just something that is available in our business model. Some choose to take advantage of it and others don't. Completely fine. But we're just going to touch on it because it is another revenue stream. And I'll be honest, it's just been something that has been amazing to me. This is basically, guys, what it says. eXp is sharing their revenue with agents that help grow the company. That's simply it. And I always ask people when I get started with this, if you were at a brokerage and you referred an agent to the company, right? You're a great agent. People are going to ask you if you like your broker. You say yes. Would you be upset if your broker said, man, Tom, listen, I appreciate you sending Lisa over. Would you mind if I send you a check every month, every time they close a deal?
No.
Probably not, right? And then I take it one step further, which I'm going to explain. Now, Lisa, would you be upset if we paid you for the fact that you brought Barbara to the company, you referred her, and she sent someone to the company? Would you be upset if we sent a check when that agent closes a deal? No. Right? You're not going to care, because some people they kind of get that a little mixed up. So that's all that this is, guys. Basically, I won't read all this to you, but all it means is that eXp shares the revenue when you refer an agent to the company. And so the way it works is a single agent revenue share means this. You're in the white here on the circle. You refer an agent, they're in the blue. That's called tier 1, level 1. All it just means is you referred that agent, and you can make up to $2,800 a year on the deals that they sell. Right? Because we have a cap, as we just showed you, 16 grand. Well, if eXp is going to share in the revenue, they stop collecting revenue at 16,000 from that agent, then that means that you stop receiving it just for that year. When the year clicks back around, their anniversary, they start selling again and they start paying eXp, you start sharing in the revenue. So I'll do a quick example. Level 1 or tier 1 is 3.5% of the gross commission. Let's say you got you referred someone to the company, they sold a $300,000 house, 3% commission, that's $9,000. 3.5, you're going to get $315. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like, you got $315 from the agent that sold the deal. Now, this is what I was explaining. If you refer 5 people to the company, right? You recruited or attracted 5 agents in the goal there. Well, those agents, if they can refer people as well, everyone has the same deal, right? As Barb said, we all get paid the same on the same way. Well, now you have the ability to get paid on tier 2 up to $3,200. And the only requirement to get paid on that second level is that you have to have 5 people you've personally enrolled in the company. And now you get paid on anybody that those agents attract. And then it just works the same way down 7 levels. You have to have 5 more agents personally enrolled, right, that you brought to the company. And now that opens up each tier. And you can see those are the maximum amounts for each level. Tier 7, it does jump to 40 plus, but you can see it's a big increase in income. 4,000 per agent, meaning if they capped out, that's the max you would get if you brought 40 people personally to the company. So I know if it sounds a little confusing, get with the person that invited you. It's pretty simple when you break it down, but the bottom line is it's just a growth incentive for you to refer agents to the company, and they pay you all the way down. So just a remarkable plan. And it's like you basically having a piece of like your own brokerage inside of eXp, because you can now grow a whole organization anywhere in the world we operate, right? And get paid on that. So definitely something to take advantage of, especially in a shifting market. It's nice to have additional income stream when maybe your personal production might be down, but you've now diversified and you have that ability. So I love this plan. It's amazing. Any more questions, definitely get with the person that invited you.
Yeah, and also stay at 7:30. There's going to be a whole section that Tom Tronk's going to present on the revenue share. One other really easy way to think about it, I think to myself, and I know Tom brings this up sometimes, is, how many referrals did you get last year? Real estate referrals did you get last year? And people usually will get maybe 2, 4. I'm lucky, I get a whole lot. And then, so that's great. So this is kind of like a referral fee. The difference is though, hey, Barbara, are you getting paid on a referral that you got in 2021?
Not anymore. We closed that deal.
So when we have this kind of referral, it re-ups every year and you continue to get that referral fee. And that's just like a super great deal all day long. I just love to think of it that way. So equity, I will mention this part, I have never had the discipline, financial discipline. Don't listen, Tom Trong, the CFO. I have never had the financial discipline to be much of a saver or sort of like and I've been self-employed my whole life. I was very grateful that I had some money put aside many years ago in an IRA. And for the most part, I have not been able to touch it. Otherwise, I would have spent the whole thing. I've already calculated the closings in January and what's going to happen with that money, right? I'm just not, I'm not a saver. So I've never been able to really develop a 401k or a nest egg for myself. And that was one of the things that lit me up about the eXp Realty model. When I heard that there was a number of ways for me to gain equity and put money aside just for doing the stuff I already do, nothing special. And it was kind of like a forced savings, which this realtor does not have the discipline to do. I thought that's really something I can feel extremely excited about. So in eXp, there's 5 ways that we can actually gain equity. As Barbara was saying, we actually went public, I think, in 15, but we hit the NASDAQ in 18. So the 5 ways are the ways that they're, the first 3 ways are ways that are really given to you. So every year when you sell your first home, you receive stock at eXp Realty. When you cap, you receive stock from EXPI stock from eXp Realty. When one of the agents that you have referred into the company, when they close their first transaction, you receive eXp Realty EXPI stock. The 4th way that you're gifted stock at eXp is if you are an Icon agent. And in 2015, I believe, is when they developed on the timeline, when they developed the Icon program. And they developed the Icon program in order to really make sure they were always attracting top tier agents, big top producers. So most salespeople love a president's clubby kind of a thing. We love to have a goal in front of us. We love to have something to go for, and we really love to be rewarded as special people, significance, as well as just getting some good stuff out of it. So after you cap at eXp, so you've satisfied that 80-20 requirement. After you cap, if you then sell approximately 20 homes, you become an eXp icon agent. And then eXp gives you back the full $16,000 that you had in your cap in eXp stock. It's distributed a little bit differently. And part of the distribution is that you say that you will give back to the community in a cultural contribution. And we'll talk about that a little bit when we talk about the training. That will make more sense a little bit later. But basically, you at that point, eXp is paying you to be part of this brokerage. I saw a t-shirt when we were at eXpCon, and it said something like, I would be embarrassed to tell my wife that I'm only at 100% commission at my brokerage. I just thought it was so funny because most of us are getting paid, frankly, because of the stock we're receiving, whether we're getting paid to be here. And then the fifth way is that we have that 401k, finally-ish. You can take up to 5% of your gross commission at a 10% discount and purchase stock in the employee stock option program. It's an ESOP. We're a publicly traded company. So you kind of see it, I kind of see it fly out of the corner of my eye with every commission check. And I go, ah, but I can tell you right now, I would not have taken that money and invested it somewhere. I would have had it spent 15 times. So for me, that built-in stock, and you know what? Right now, I'm kind of thrilled because the stock is at a lower point. When I was getting a lot of my stock 2 years ago, it was before it split, it was almost at 100. So now at 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm good all day long getting my stock at that price because I have such confidence in this company. And it's also, that's your stock. You purchased it. So there's no vesting on that piece of it. So that's the 5 ways. 3 ways that you're gifted through production and referral, 1 way that you're gifted through your stock program. Fantastic. Healthcare. I'm going to turn this over to Barbara and maybe even get a testimonial from Tom.
Yeah, so eXp Agent Healthcare, I was so excited when they came out with this. I think it was maybe Tom, 2 years ago, I think it was. And so I was on, Covered California, and it was getting so expensive. My husband is also, a 1099 employee. So we didn't have employer sponsored health insurance, and my insurance was getting super uber expensive. So eXp came out with a kind of a bare bones healthcare at the time. I immediately looked right into it, and I already was saving so much money. I told them the plan that I had, the coverage that I had, and they said, "Oh, we can beat that." And what I liked about that too is my daughter did the same thing. Now she has employer coverage through her husband, but she called them and she said, "Hey, here's our insurance," and they said, "Oh, stay where you are. We can't beat that." I love that about our health coverage. What's even better now is they now have major medical. They didn't have that when I first joined, or when they first started with the Agent Healthcare. But now we have major medical, which is an even better savings. So, I had noticed there were a few things that weren't being covered, under my insurance. I'm a very healthy person. I don't see the doctor a lot. I don't have a lot of prescriptions, so my coverage was fine. But I noticed, oh wait, I have to go to dermatology, or I have to go to the chiropractor, and those things weren't covered. Well, now with major medical, they have those plans now, and it's still going to save me a ton of money. No other company that I know of, and on this slide, offer agent healthcare. So the fact that we have 86,000 agents and we can offer this to masses and masses of people is huge. There's not a lot of realtors that have insurance, and there's no reason not to have it, with eXp. So, Tom, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. It basically just speaks volumes about the culture of the company, that it's agent-centric, it's agent-owned, agent-grown, and agent success obsessed. And why be successful if you don't have your health? Our family, when we enrolled in this program, we literally saved $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. From my perspective, that was such a big bonus. If you're thinking about the $16,000 cap, well, $12,000 of it came from health insurance that we saved already, right? And then all of our primary care physicians were in network. Our deductibles were the same, if not lower. Our coverages were the same, if not higher. And I couldn't be happier. Back to you.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
I just want to, you know what, just as I know it's a lot on healthcare, but this is just a side note for all those, you just never know what's going to happen. I was literally talking to them about switching, and I just got busy and didn't make the call, and I ended up in the hospital. I'm a completely healthy person, no issues. I haven't been to the hospital for a health issue in my life. But I got kidney stones, and it ran up about $80,000 in bills because it was 2 different episodes, 2 hospitals and a surgery, and the health plan I had didn't cover everything. I would have literally saved at least 10,000 by just switching to this guy. So I'm just telling you, just never know. I mean, so that's the whole side note from the conversation, of our real estate talk tonight. But, make sure you're covered, because I thought my health care plan was good and it wasn't. And this, I know would have, I talked to them, I would have been completely covered with no extra expense. So massive.
We're going to definitely use that. Tony didn't know what was more painful, not having insurance or kidney stones. So
right. I think it was insurance.
So cloud-based, we're going to go through these slides. This is obvious. We've talked about it. And I just had someone ask me today when I was at an event, where's your office? And I was like, wow, we've been in the cloud since 2009. And I think, I have an easier way of, it's easier for me to say that now. I know that all, Barbara, Tom, and Tony have been around when we were looked at like we had 16 heads. What do you mean you don't have an office? Are you kidding me? And I've just been around since, hey, we couldn't go to an office legally. So people kind of understand that that there's a lot of advantages. The whole world, not just real estate, the whole world is re-examining. I don't know if you all have children and what they're doing for work, but the whole world is re-examining whether, what the requirements really are to be in an office in person. And to know that we've already been on the other side of that and we were all ready for it is really great. Everything, all of our tools, all of our transaction information, everything that we do was built in the cloud. And we're going to go over a little bit of that now. I'll do a couple of these slides kind of quickly, but eXp Enterprise is really our dashboard. It's a one login system, which is fabulous. So you don't have to keep going into a million different things. You go into your dashboard and there's everything you'd ever need. Stuff about your own business, stuff about how to do business, your market center, anything that you would be looking for in eXp Realty is in Enterprise. It's super easy to get into. They're always working on updating the user experience on it. It's fantastic, really. Transaction management. So the 2 things that people ask me about specifically are what do you use for transaction management and what do you use for your CRM? Both of our tools that we use are available on the open market at this time. We do not own either of them. The transaction management piece is a company called SkySlope. And I mean, I'm sure that there's ones that some people think are better. This one's fabulous to me. The most important thing for a busy realtor is that when you enter a transaction and press the button, it generates a checklist with a whole bunch of red circles on it. And you are not going to get paid until every one of the red circles turns green. And you can either figure out how to do it yourself, or you can hire someone as a transaction coordinator, which I do. We now have transaction coordination in eXp. You can hire them, but either way, there's a pretty super slim chance that something's going to fall through a crack, because this platform really keeps everything in line. And then every state has its compliance staff, and they are in there looking and making sure that everything is happening, and they're emailing you requests if they're not. So this is one of the things that your $85 a month is paying for. You could get this on the open market, and brokerages have it. There's a big one here that has it. Workplace by Facebook. Barbara, talk a little about this. I know you love Workplace.
Because I love Workplace so much. Workplace is just like Facebook. Well, it was created by Facebook, but it's strictly for businesses. And we have 86,000 plus agents, and every single one has a profile on Workplace. Now, whether they use it or not is up to them. You don't have to be in Workplace. I just love it because it doesn't matter who I need to talk to in eXp. I can just go right into Workplace and find them. It can be my broker. It could be anybody. You can find them. If I stumped on how to do a listing presentation, or I need a picture of something, just go into Workplace and ask a question. Boom, you're going to get all these different requests or help. People are just always so willing to help. We have a whole bunch of different groups, just like people do on Facebook. You can create your own group. I don't even know how many groups we have on Workplace, but there's a gazillion. Whatever your interest is, more than likely there's a group for it. If there's not, you can create one. So it's amazing. It's the best communication tool I've ever seen. Company
It really is. And it also identifies, you know how now we have message, iMessage or message. We also have Facebook Messenger, which people often communicate with. But the nice thing I think about Workplace is you can have the Workplace message app as a separate app on your phone. And you can have that show you, a badge so you can see, do you have 1, do you have 15 messages on Workplace? You know those are business related. You know those are important. So your eye can go directly to those messages and you can deal with them in a very efficient and effective way instead of scroll. You know how maybe you never do it, but sometimes if I might check something, I'm scrolling 25 minutes later, scrolling. So you don't even have to go there in Workplace for sure. CRM lead generation. Tony, do you want to jump into this one?
Absolutely. This is something, it's funny. I went so many years of my career, went without a CRM. And then of course I started paying for one, and it was a big monthly expense, right? Top producer or whatever it is that you're using, you're paying for that as a separate expense, but it's included with all the wonderful things that, we've talked about tonight in our $85 a month. But to be successful, this is crazy. I was just at a huge event yesterday, over 120 agents. And there was a woman there that did not have a CRM, and she was one of the top in her market, and she was like floundering. And literally the coaches that were there said, you are losing literally at least 30% of business just by not having a CRM. So you want to have one if you want to be successful. Successful agents have systems, and the CRM is a part of that, but also lead generation. And guys, the KV Core, it's funny. I was talking with Tom just about a month ago, and he was like, Tony, this KV Core, I went on there just to show my team, and we went and tested it. He's like, boom, I went on there, literally went into KV Core, boosted a listing that wasn't even his own. And he got, I think, like 3 or 4 listings and a couple buyers right from that one ad. So KV Core is amazing. Our lead generation platform is phenomenal. So if that's something that you're looking for, is more leads, a system to communicate with your clients and interact with your clients or your prospects, this is an amazing platform, all included in our $85 a month.
Absolutely. And seriously, on the open market, KV Core is about $1,000 from what I understand to set up, and it's about $500 a month. So I know people, this is what I was talking about, that have come to eXp Realty just to get KV Core for $85 a month, because it is such an amazing program. And Glenn stays with it. There have been others. I mean, people obviously are always swirling around our company trying to get leadership to purchase those platforms, but he has continued to stay with KV Core and Inside Real Estate. And I really believe in it. I hired a virtual assistant originally because I had so much business in there. As Tony was saying, I was leaving a lot on the table, because not only was it not working efficiently, but people I was working with, it was sending them, oh, welcome to, it just, nothing was aligned properly. And that is not my skill set. So it would have been that way if I hadn't hired a virtual assistant over a year ago to help me straighten that out, which he did. And then of course does a million more amazing things for me now, but that's why I really hired someone, because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle all the leads I had. I couldn't handle it following my database around, plus taking all the leads coming in. It was, crazy. So live training, this is something that I think really makes our company stand out. We not only have eXp University with thousands of hours of recorded training, but we literally have about, they say between 60 and 90, depending on the week, hours of live training every week. We had it before the pandemic. We had it during those 2.5 years that we were all in shelter, and we have it now. And I've watched other of our fine competitors kind of try to put stuff together online, and it's just never going to be this robust system that was built to offer live training weekly. And Tony, I know you brought up a point earlier about the quality of this live training. Jump in and say some more about that.
Guys, listen, I mean, I don't know if this is happening to any of you, but you've been to trainings and you're like, man, this seems like such old information or canned information. It's like you're listening to someone, you don't even know if they ever sold real estate, or if they did, it was 20 years ago. This here, guys, we have, as we talked about earlier, the Icon Agent Program. We have high-level, high-producing agents that, as a part of their cultural requirement, have to give back, and part of that is training. So you are learning, this is very key, guys, you're learning from people who are selling right now in this market that is changing, right? We know it's changing. Who else better to learn from than people who are actually participating and producing at a high level in this market. And then the topics range from, yes, how to get a listing, from the basics, right? All the way to something as advanced as YouTube for realtors. How do you use YouTube at the maximum capacity, or social media masterminds, whatever it is, Airbnb. So there is a lot, obviously, in 90 hours. And that, to me, I'm passionate about it. I believe that we will be known as one of the most, the highest trained agents in the industry because of this platform, and because we can do this through the world to 86,000 agents. And I would encourage you guys, if you're not a part of eXp, get a free pass, check out this training. We will let you try it out.
And we offer certifications. We have a commercial certification. We have an REO certification. We have a relocation certification. We have a new affinity certification. I mean, and those are all free. That's one thing I have to say. Many of our fine competitors have certifications, have advanced training, but there's going to be a bill in the mail for it. It's not free. And all of this is part of your $85 a month for sure. And then the support, anybody want to just mention an anecdotal story about Tech Outpost? Do you have a good one? What our support is like?
Oh, I can. Oh my
Okay, go
goodness.
ahead.
Yeah, there was one time I was in eXp world, and nobody could hear me. Like, I could hear them, and I'm talking. I was not on mute, and nobody could hear me. And so I jumped right over to Tech Outpost, and I'm using the chat because nobody could hear me. And literally the guy said, he says, okay, I'm going to send you this link. And of course he's talking to me because I can hear him. I'm going to send you this link back in the chat, click on that, which gave him access to my computer. And so he was able to get into my computer and figure out what the problem was. To this day, I still don't know, because I'm not a tech person, but it took maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't know what it was. My computer was being a little buggy, and he got right in there, 5-10 minutes, boom, done. Love that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, again, that agent obsession, that agent focus, the company leadership, Glenn, realized this was really a problem. There were a lot of agents that were not technically astute, as well as this was going to stop people from being able to work. So they created, and it looks like you get into eXp world, you say, I'm going to go to Tech Outpost, you click on the button, all of a sudden you're there, you go and you pull a ticket like at the deli, and then you wait for, 60 seconds, 15 seconds. I mean, I have never waited for longer than a minute, seriously, a minute. And all of a sudden, ding, ding, you're sitting in front of a tech person. And at first you're like, oh my God, it's an avatar. That's so weird. But if you have to go there a few times, you'll realize it's the same group of people. Like, they're just people doing their jobs. It's like the same 3 people at a certain time, right? It's like, oh, Sarah, hi again, it's me. And it's great. It's amazing. And that's part of your $85 a month. It just because eXp wants to make sure you can really do business and keep working. So this is near and dear to my heart for sure. I have the great fortune of living in a resort and second home community, and I do sell some luxury real estate. And when I came to eXp 2.5 years ago, we kind of had a luxury program, and we had a collaboration with CLHMS, the Certified Home Luxury Marketing Specialist group designation, really the main designation in real estate. But it was kind of in the middle of dissolving a bit, and we have been waiting and waiting and waiting a little bit longer for the rollout of the eXp Realty Luxury Program. And I'm happy to, thrilled to death to share that this was rolled out in October when we were at eXpCon. It's in its infancy. It's an amazing program. The benefits are being elaborated on as we speak. It is really, really, really top notch as we continue to go into markets like Dubai, which is a market that we just opened. And actually I have a slide later. I have one of the founding members of the Luxury Advisory Council on a mastermind Friday morning. And I'd like to make sure that everyone has an invitation to that. I have a slide about that at the end, but this is something that we all can be super proud about because we've all talked to those agents with certain brokerages that love to consider themselves luxury only. And we have felt for a while that we couldn't really compete in that space. And we can now. Michael Valdez, one of our leadership team, has been committed to this from the beginning. And he has introduced an absolutely amazing suite of benefits for luxury agents. So community, when do you guys want to jump into community and diversity?
Absolutely. I mean, guys, I have a large organization, of African-American agents that came into my, they were in my business. There was only about 20 or 30 of them. My partners of mine, I've known them for years, but they were growing, and this was a few years back, and they started eXp, the Black eXp network and Latino network. And so they went down to an event that was held by the Black eXp network. They are now over 300 agents 2 years later.
Wow.
Okay. And that came from eXp's commitment to diversity and having inclusion. They had a whole event for, and they have these events all across. You see all the different, LGBTQ network. I mean, whatever it is, they've included everyone. And I'll tell you what, it's just amazing. This is the way, everyone should be, but eXp is definitely doing an amazing job of including everyone into the programs and making it, putting stuff out there so that we can have everyone feel a part of the company. And of course, there's always room to grow and all of that. But this is near and dear to my heart because it helped one of my organizations grow and explode. So that's pretty cool stuff. So definitely love the commitment to diversity.
Really something to be proud of, for sure. Tony, thanks for sharing that so much. We have a site called eXp Life, and this is a place where you can go to find out just about everything. And one of the things that we love about this is it shows, the realty portion, our global portion, our commercial portion, Success Enterprises, which is the 127-year-old enterprise that we purchased 2 years ago and have continued to roll out Success Coaching, Success Health. And that's an amazing addition to our suite of what we can offer and what's offered to the agents, as well as our virtual platform, Verbella, and more. And then internationally, we're currently in 24 additional countries, in addition to US and Canada. This has been so fantastic. And we grew enormously during the pandemic, which was an amazing phenomenon in and of itself, that we've continued to open up countries. And, many countries, most countries operate very differently than ours. And so within eXp world, there's actually a different area for each of the countries. And so you can go in to eXp in New Zealand and find out, kind of what their business model is. If you have an agent that you think might be interested in learning more, there's groups in Workplace, but there's also people in eXp world from those different areas. This is an updated slide that kind of shows all the light blue is where we currently are. So you can see, really all over the world. And then orange, actually that orange is Dubai, and we just opened Dubai last week. Within the last 10 days, Dubai market was open. We got to meet the broker of record in eXp Con in Las Vegas. Lovely, amazing woman. She was actually a part of the luxury presentation as well. So this is just some of the highlights of where we're at right now. That's actually 24 countries because, again, Dubai just opened. And I think we're at 87,000, not sure, but really one of the fastest growing brokerages the world has ever seen. We have an agent advisory council, which is a group that's formed 12 people that kind of serve as a liaison between the agents and leadership. And so when leadership is looking at a new initiative, they're looking at changing something, they bring these ideas to the agent advisory council, and the agent advisory council, really kind of throws it around and chews on it and talks about it and gives feedback. Also, on the other hand, when agents have an issue or a problem with something that's happening at eXp, they're encouraged to reach out to one of the AAC members, and we kind of act as a filter to help people to bring those concerns forward to leadership. So it's another way that eXp is really showing the culture of the company in that. And I have had the great pleasure of serving since July. I'm in a 2-year term myself on Agent Advisory Council. It's been really a thrill and an honor and privilege to contribute in that way. So that's been super fantastic. Partners, you guys want to take the partners? This is another one of those compensation roads, if you will, that agents have, not a requirement, but certainly available to them.
Yeah, it's just, if you hear my dog in the background, I'm very, very sorry. But these basically are all the services that an agent needs, with your transactions. And that's one thing that eXp looks at for our partners. Who is it that our agents need to partner with in order to have a smooth, successful closing? And if you take a look at the names on this list, more than likely you need to use 1, 2, if not all of them. So join the team that's breaking down the barriers. That's us.
Here's a bunch of great quotes about who we are. Here's some more stats, some highlights. I think that the revenue increases. I mean, we constantly are just amazed and thrilled when we look at LinkedIn or different areas that, continue to show the growth. That is not the case with many of our fine competitors. And we all have heard stories about brokerages closing, about more consolidation, about people at the top leaving, about contracts being renegotiated, about comp plans being changed, and a lot of uncertainty because all of those folks have a lot of real estate that they are needing to balance. And their model is based on very high production from agents to be successful. And as the market continues to shift, I think we're going to see more and more of that. Our model was built for this because we've eliminated that entire strata of expense and actually given it back to the agent.
Lisa, I'll just kind of jump in on that a little bit.
Please
too.
do.
I just heard that one of the largest brokerages in the world, the CEO just said that they're focusing more on sustainability than profitability. And so,
yes.
I know that we talked about a rev share plan. If I was based on profit, that would mean that if we're not worried about profitability, my check would go to zero, and I have my income pays me 4 times as much as the average agent makes selling on my rev share. And so when I heard that, I thought, man, I'm glad I'm in the right place at a company that is focused on growth, has momentum, even in this market where we're at, and it's not affecting my profits, when it comes to my rev share. So I just thought that just hit home quite a bit to think if I was at that other place, at another brokerage, that's where my focus would be shifting. And I'm like, that doesn't sound so exciting.
One thing I wanted to point out too, like I said earlier, I came from a small boutique brokerage, and so I'm not really familiar with a lot of the franchise fees and everything else. However, what I found interesting is that a lot of brokerages will review or renew contracts every year. I was talking to an agent back east that I just came in from out of town, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm up for renewal. We're going to have to renegotiate again." You don't do that with eXp. It is what it is. We kind of already outlined it. It's $85 a month. It's an 80-20 split. It's $16,000 cap. I mean, it couldn't be more clear. So I found it just was shocking to me, actually, because I don't know what to compare it to. But it was shocking to me that he had to renegotiate his contract again, every year. So anyway, for what that's worth.
The stress of that is just kind of unbelievable. So if you're new, if you were invited to the presentation tonight, this kind of would be the next step. There's really kind of no obligation to complete that ICA. It just kind of gets you started, get some good information in there, and then make sure that you get a passport into eXp World and get a demo of our different platforms, because they really are amazing and really great. This is by the way, the mastermind that I'm having on Friday. Guys, take a screenshot of this, please. Join us at 12 noon Eastern. Jenna is going to give a great presentation on the misconceptions in the 4 M's of luxury. And she's also, I'm sure, going to answer some questions about the new eXp luxury program. So super excited that I speak about collaboration. I don't know Jenna. I met her when I was, trying to squeeze into how many hundreds of people were we, Barbara, trying to get into the unveiling of the luxury program in Las Vegas. And then I got to see her. She was at an NAR in Orlando a few weeks ago, and I went up and introduced myself. We hit it off. We had a nice conversation. I said, "Hey, would you be willing to go on?" And so she said yes without hesitating. And so here we are. She's going to be on our mastermind on Friday, and I would love to have all of you come and join. Again, it's open to everybody, so please invite if you'd like, but come just to meet Jana and hear about the new luxury program for sure. And at 7:25, that is it.
Excellent eXp explained. Thank you, Lisa, Barbara, and Tony Camilleri. Gotcha. All right, thank you, sir. Let's open it up for Q&A, please. Questions and questions that you've got. There was a question in the chat from, let me see here, from Sherry Stallings. Any suggestions on where to hire a virtual assistant?
So eXp has a program that that's transaction coordination, I guess. I know that I use Sphere Rocket, I have had my VA since September of last year, and I probably started looking in August of last year because it took me a while. I've been shopping this out forever, and I looked at a bunch of different models, and it seemed like a very good model because they were going to do disc profiles on all of the potential VAs, and I was going to have those disc profiles in order to make a decision. And I knew I could not have someone that was a high I because I'd be sitting there like this all day long. I needed somebody who was really a high C, high S, who got me for who I was and could really help be that partner that I needed. So I use Sphere Rocket. Justin Nelson is an eXp agent. He also, that company has VAs for other companies besides eXp. But it has been an amazing, amazing program for me. I don't know. There's a lot of companies that do. I mean, Tom, I know you have a different one than I've used.
Yep. Rodrigo put in the chat, virtualexpressinc.com is also a VA there. So go ahead, and VA company. So go ahead and look at that as well. Oh my goodness, we're answering the question for Sherry and she just jumped back in. So hopefully, Sherry, you asked about virtual VAs. Talk to Lisa Parenteau. She'll point you to her VA company. Rodrigo Suete put in the chat here, virtualexpressinc.com. I run my own VA company. I've got 6 executive assistants working on my executive team. Our team works 24/7 to support our organization. So plenty of support there. Okay. What other questions do you guys have, the audience, and or testimonials? I see Philip Johnson open up his mic. Philip, you want to say hello?
Well, yes, I just wanted to confirm, I'm actually here in Scottsdale at a Sphere Rocket VA event, and I just hired my very first VA. I've been one of these slow movers, I guess, but it's truly this is a really cool company. They're set up really well to help collaborate in the back end and with your VAs and all that, and it's definitely worth looking into a VA, whatever company you use. I think but Sphere Rocket, I giving a thumbs up for that. As far as my experience so far. So I've only have one VA, had it for a month, and it's taking so
Philip,
much.
we all start with one, and one day when your business grows, you'll expand, my man. It's good for you.
Yeah. So I'm training this one to actually help me with others, so that's what I'm hoping is.
Good job.
Well, anyway.
All right, guys, what other questions you have? We're here to answer your questions, ask your toughest questions. And then we're going to take a break. We're on to this for 2 hours now on Big Win Wednesday, and I am still fired up. In about 4 to 5 minutes, I go and I pour into you guys to show you how to build revenue share, an organization through the 7 tiers of revenue share. I'm going to go through 6 steps of best practices of agent attraction, and show you how to become a multi-millionaire agent and still live the lifestyle that you have dreamt of in a very short couple of years. That's what's coming up next. Until then, what questions do we have for Lisa, for Barbara, and for Tony? Okay, well, I think you guys were so thorough that the audience.
Or they're all asleep. They could all be asleep. I don't know. It's one of those.
I think you were very thorough.
I can ask a question.
Hey, Tom, I think Shen has a question. Go ahead, Shen.
Yes, I'll ask this, and this will probably be a hard question, maybe not, and I'm going to try to stick around as long as I can for the next segment. But I am with another brokerage, and I've been working with.
Can I call you back?
I've been working with Rodrigo on a couple of open houses, and we've developed a good relationship. And so I got invited today, and so of course I am thinking about just everything that I seen today. I don't know if maybe this is something I should ask off record, but just in comparison
ask us the toughest questions you can ask. There's nothing that we can't handle, man. Bring it on.
How would you guys compare Realty One Group to eXp and what that looks like? Because as far as like the healthcare program, I really appreciate that. In the beginning, when I heard about the referral program that you guys offer, just in terms of even visually, the term pyramid scheme, yep. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that many times, but yet there's a lot of brokerages that have some type of referral program. It's just about whose referral program is the best. And really, in a sense, a
Sure,
referral program can come across that way.
sure.
But I just think about even what it looks like in, say, if I decide to build a team in the future and those kind of things. But I just really like what I've been getting with just my one work with Rodrigo, being invited here and what I hear. But then it's just a hard thing to do because I am loyal. Sometimes I can be loyal to a fault. But that's where I'm at, and that's, I guess, my question, if I even asked it the right way.
All right, well, you ask a few questions and you made a whole bunch of comments. Let me take a crack at a 45-second answer, and then I'll ask our panelists to answer as well. Number one is there are a lot of great brands out there. Realty One is probably a good brand for the right agent for their model. When I evaluate and when the audience evaluates a program, I would ask a couple of questions, and you should sit down and write these questions down and put them on a piece of paper to do an apples to apples comparison. Number one, talk to me about lead generation, or what systems do you have to show me how to generate more leads than I can handle for $85 a month. Number two, after you do that, who's going to train me? Do you have 80 hours of live training each and every week, plus all of the recorded archive training that I can tap into 24/7, 365, even during the holidays, because I'm hungry and I got to pay my bills? Number three, what kind of support do they have? How fast can I get support? Talk to Rodrigo, talk to me tomorrow, and I'll show you how fast you can get support here at eXp. Or do I have to text and email and wait 4 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours, or even remind my broker about something that I asked them about? What kind of support do you have? Number four, are you looking to grow a local team or a global team? Ask them, if I want to go national, will you show me how to do that? If I have to move from California to Puerto Rico to Texas to Florida, can I still keep my license to stay under one branding? What if I have a team who wants to join me and I train them in California and they move to Texas? Will they stay on my team, and how does that work? Number five, what is my compensation plan? You have a great compensation plan. When can I get all of my cap back? Sure, I'll pay you this, but when can I get it all back? Number four, do you have health insurance? Number five, can I build a business within a business? And that's the multi-level marketing aspect. Only 1 out of 20 agents do that at any level. 19 out of 20 just joined for the first 6 programs, not the multi-level program. Who else wants to handle it?
You did it, buddy.
Man,
That was definitely it.
Tony Camilleri, go.
I don't know. I don't know how much I can add to that, Tom. You're the expert. You nailed it. I mean, what I would add to this is that I've worked 22 years in the industry. I've worked at couple of the other big brands. I mean, I was at Remax, I was at Keller Williams, I was at ERA Realty, a couple of smaller brokerages. And what I can tell you is I evaluate business. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got other businesses as well in my years. And I've never found a business model, hands down, period, that matches or comes close to eXp. I mean, it sounds a little arrogant, I know, but it's really, I look at it objectively and say, man, just putting all those questions that Tom said on paper, writing them down, and you got to look at this. We have 86,000 or 87,000 and growing agents collaborating together. There is no other company that you cannot find, right? And that's a lot of talent in one place that you can access that talent, because we come together in our cloud-based campus, the world, which I would get a pass to. I would check out the classes. And when you see the power of that, to me, that alone, what you're tapping into is unmatched. And then of course you have the compensation plan that I've never found anything that can compare to what we have. And we have already proven our sustainability. We've been through it all, and going through a shifting market, and we're still on top and producing at a high level and staying profitable. So.
And here's the most, and that's awesome, Tony. And here's the most important thing. Look, Rodrigo invited you to the call. You don't even work with eXp or on Rodrigo's team. Did you know that Rodrigo is an icon agent? This guy crushes his real estate. He makes over $100, maybe $200 per hour. And if he's willing to pour time into you, look around. Who else is going to pour their time into you? The guy's making $100 to $200 an hour, and he's here to help you. Who's got the better value?
I hear you. Yeah, and he's so modest about it all too. You wouldn't even know, he doesn't gloat about it or anything. And he's just been really great to work with, and even just give me an opportunity and, see something in me in the way that he does too. So I really appreciate him.
I think you know what the answer is. Sleep on it and then get back to Rodrigo or me tomorrow, okay?
Sounds good.
We have a question from Kristen Ziggy. One more. When do I become a part owner of the company? We covered that in the slide. You become an owner as soon as you close your first transaction with eXp. We grant you about $200 worth of stock, and boom, congratulations, you're an owner of a publicly traded company that's worth over $1 billion. When you cap, you get $400 more free stock. And every closing that you close, you can tuck away 5% of your commissions to buy the stock at a 10% discount. And those are 3 ways. We talked about 6 ways. I think that's enough.
Trust
The
me, you're
6th
gonna have
way is
money
you buy it on the
because
open
you
market,
know
by
that
the
you
way.
have that much.
All right, guys. Great question, by the way. Thank you for asking that very tough question. There are a lot of great companies out there. We know that we're not going to, not all companies are built the same, nor not all agents are built the same. And I'll close with this. If you are a real estate entrepreneur and you want to achieve personal, financial, and location freedom in a short period of time, there's no other platform that I found in 22 plus years of real estate that gives what this thing gives. All right. I'm not going to take a break. I'm going to go right into revenue share. Guys, if you're done for the evening, take off and enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go right into eXp revenue share and how to fast start your business and take it to a whole new level that you've always dreamt of. And then